The title of the film is introduced by displaying the title boldly in white in front of the grey, black and white backdrop of a straight road. A zoom then moves into a two-shot close-up in which introduces two new characters to the scene. With the use of a panning motion, the main male character is then transitioned from a medium shot to a close-up. The use of a close-up allows the audience to see the emotion from the actor's face. Low-key lighting is then used to allow the audience to see the true emotion within the character's eyes, as the only place in light is his eyes, and we follow them down to the cup. Quick and short jump cuts then move from a cup to a CD player to the outside of a drum, which then zooms out to a band playing in a club. The femme fatale is introduced in a medium shot of her body as well as her face, as onlookers of men in a band look up to her. A fade-in, fade-out transition is then used to reintroduce the male that we saw at the beginning.
That's the third time he started telling me.
A medium two-shot is then used to show the femme fatale alongside another man with a plain background, which shows mysterious edge to the film.
I do. You know I do.
A close-up shot then reveals a male in a phone box making a call. A fade-in, fade-out transition then moves to the ladies who are taking his call. A medium close-up shot then reveals the two males in a car as we've seen at the beginning, but this time with a different setting behind them.
Sure, all bad. Not many people stop for a guy these days.
The idea of time passing is clearly shown as the lighting behind them gets darker as they move further through their journey. We then see a zoom from an over-the-shoulder shot to a close-up shot as his face appears in the rearview mirror of a car. The use of the rain allows the audience to feel as if something is about to go wrong within the plot of the film.
I only drove the car for 100 miles or so. I would need money for gas. Besides,
A long shot then reveals the male laying in bed as a mysterious figure walks past him through the window and Venetian blinds.
safe enough.
A panning shot is then used to move from his feet to his face as we see the male in the shower. Once again we see a two-shot in a car, but this time with the male driving, showing that he is the dominant character over the female that seems to be in the passenger seat. Once again the male is seen as a more dominant character as he looks down to the woman. A panning shot is then used to reveal a woman who is putting her lipstick on as it moves from the back of her to see her reflection in the mirror.
But Vera, unfortunately, was just as rotten in the morning as she'd been the night before.
A fast-paced panning motion shows a woman running into a room and locking herself away. A piece of fast-paced major key music then begins to playing, telling the audience that the plot has gone seriously wrong and that he's about to make a discovery. A non-standard two-shot then reveals the over-shoulder shot of the male as we see the reflection of the woman in the mirror from where she was previously putting makeup on to how she looks much different now.
I know. I want myself.
A panning motion then fades out from his face and then fade in back to her face as it follows her arms and bodies as it moves down to the main cause of the issue that seems to have gone wrong in the plot.
Every last man of you would go down shouting that she had me over a barrel and my only out.
The camera then moves in and out of focus as it introduces different key aspects to her personality on her dressing table.
So quiet that for a while I wondered if I had suddenly gone deaf. It was pure fear.
We see her belongings as a point of view of the male who seems to be surfacing the room for clues.
Vera was dead, and I was her murderer. Murderer? What an awful word that is. But I'd become one. I'd better not get caught. What evidence there was around the place had to be destroyed. And from the looks of things, there was plenty. Looking around the room at things we'd bought was like looking into the faces of 100 people who had seen us together and who remembered me.
After the discovery, we see the male putting on his hat and jacket very slowly as he slowly walks out a door in a medium shot. A fade-in, fade-out transition is then used to mirror the close-up shot that we saw of the male's face at the very beginning of the film. Low-key lighting is also used to make sure that his eyes remain the full focus of the shot as it moves out. The switch of dark to light lighting shows once again the idea of time passing. The end of the film is then introduced by text transitions on a cold grayscale background which then fades out to a full black screen.